Alrighty guys, we're back for Gearhulk Metalbending, and this is a Last Airbender Standard brew, and I'm Red Cat. Let's briefly go over the deck, then hop right into some ranked. We have 3 Toph, the first Metalbender, 4 mana, 3/3 legendary creature, rocking Naya colors up there. We're actually splashing red in here for Toph, and a top-end Bumi as well, which we'll go over in just a second. Non-token artifacts, you control our lands in addition to their other types. Gives us a little note they don't gain the ability to tap for mana. At the beginning of your end step, Earthbend 2, which of course says target land you control, becomes a 0/0 land creature with haste. Put 2+1/+1 counters on it. When it dies or is put into exile, return it to the battlefield tapped. So since our non-token artifacts are also lands, you can Earthbend those artifacts. Earthbending something like Twitching Doll should be pretty darn good, right? It's a 2 mana 2/2 artifact creature. You can tap it to add 1 mana of any color, then you put a nest counter on it. You can tap it, sack it, create a 2/2 green spider creature token with reach for each counter on this creature. So if you're Earthbending Twitching Doll and you use that bottom ability, Earthbend says when it dies or is put into exile, return it to the battlefield tap. So you get the Twitching Doll back and you get all those extra spideys. And of course, when you're Earthbending, you're putting extra counters on the Twitching Doll, so a really neat synergy between those two cards. And speaking of neat synergies, we have a Bumi Unleashed here on the top end. 5 mana, 5/4 legendary creature with Trample. And when Bumi enters, Earthbend 4. Whenever Bumi deals combat damage to a player, untap all lands you control. After this phase, there's an additional combat phase. Only land creatures can attack during that combat phase. So another just really neat one to pair with that Toph. I called it Gearhulk Metalbending for a reason. Here's all 4 Brightglass Gearhulk. 4 mana, 4/4 rockin' Steep Selesnya cost up there. Artifact creature, of course, has First Strike and Trample, so pretty good stats overall. When it enters, you may search your library for up to 2 artifact, creature, and or enchantment cards with mana value 1 or less. Reveal them, put them into your hand, then shuffle. So we have a whole bunch of one-ofs in here to be able to grab out with the Gearhulk, but then also we have -3 on Tezzeret to be able to grab some of those one-ofs as well. 2 Tezzerets making the cut should be fine and dandy in here. So some of those one-ofs like Perfected Pastry. We have a Phoenix down, which is pretty good. We have Basilisk Collar, which is excellent. We have a Lost Jitte, a Soul Guide Lantern, and a Goldvein Hydra for when we need like a super top end, which we'll definitely need because we're ramping significantly with Badgermole Cub. Again, pairing really well with that Twitching Doll, but also pairing well with Gene Pollinator, which also happens to be an artifact creature. And of course, Llanowar Elves making the cut as a 4/2 too. Got a little bit of removal because that's important. Perilous Snare in here as a 2/2. And Dusk Rose Reliquary is actually one we can search out of the deck with the Gearhulk or the Tezzeret. We also have Nature's Rhythm in here as the 4th Toph, right? Or the 5th Gearhulk or something along those lines. Really depends what you're going to grab with the Nature's Rhythm, but another top-end card is what we want to consider it. And it's all too easy to do X's for, especially when you have a Cub or 2 on the board. Over in the mana base, that's a lot of dual lands and whatnot. We have all 4 Stomping Grounds. We have all 4 Sunbillow Verge, all 4 Hushwood Verge, all 4 Multiversal Passage, all 4 Starting Town, a Lonely Plains, and a couple Forests. Now, guys, no honorable mentions today. What, at the very least, should have made the cut as an honorable mention? Let me know down in the comments. Either way, I do my dandiest to save the more in-depth discussion for the end of the video, so look forward to that. In the meantime, let's go ahead, take this into some ranked, see how we do. All right, we'll see if we can get right into that first game. Heck yeah, we do. What am I expecting from the build? I'm expecting a little bit, honestly. We already played this one over on stream. Felt pretty good. Of course, the main reason it felt pretty good is probably because of Badgermole Cub, but still. Opponent goes first. Oh. We can successfully keep this. Patch Recruit on 1. Okay, totally worth taking the damage here to get the elves down. Now, Sunbillow Verge, only tapping for white for now is totally fine. There's lots of things that can power up the Verge, but also our red source can come from a Pollinator or a Twitching Doll as well. We can accept the trade or say that we're going to ramp a little bit further next turn. I say we'll just keep the ramp rolling and just take the 2, even though that is a decent trade for us, honestly. Okay, so Twitching Doll can come down and probably Pollinator over the other Llanowar Elves. I think Twitching Doll might actually survive, so that can be the red source anyways. I suppose it's the other Llanowar Elves. Just based on whatever we actually have on the board in this scenario, right? Because Pollinator would have to tap down another creature anyways. A Familiar comes down. Gene Pollinator comes down. I think we're up against some Badgermole Cub, guys. But not a mirror match, right? Hushwood Verge. Okay. I mean, this is a lot of mana. We're going to probably just get Toph down first and drop both Gene Pollinators. Then Earthbend 2 on one of them. Actually, what am I saying? The other Twitching Doll should come down. Get the ball rolling with that, right? For sure. There you go. That becomes a 0-0, unfortunately, so it loses like the 2-2. Gets the 2 counters, so it's still just a 2-2 in the long run. Ouroboros. Dude, we're in danger. They don't even need the Badgermole Cub. We're just straight up in danger here. Okay, we should put a nest counter on this. Oh, wait, guys, I didn't plan on blocking with the Twitching Doll. For some reason, I thought it was the end of their turn already. No, that was their combat. Tezzeret, Cruel Captain's pretty good. We should pick up the Ouroboros with the Reliquary, right? So let's do... We also have 3 Spideys on the Twitching Doll. It does come back. So that's pretty good too. I'm sorry, I'm thinking, buddy. This is actually, there's a lot to think about here. I think we need to keep our white sources open. We have a white source on the Twitching Doll too, though. Either way, I'm going to use 1 elf like that. There's 2 white sources left on the board. Gene Pollinator. All right, let's do this. Go -3 on Tezzeret. Grab the Reliquary. Reliquary comes down. Pop the tapped Llanowar Elf, right? Alright, sweet. Now, unfortunately, I didn't take that trade earlier with the Pop Hatch recruit, so they do get a counter somewhere, but Ouroboros has to go, dude. You know what I mean? So I'm going to plug it onto the recruit itself. That does make a lot of sense, I would say. Now, sorcery. Keep this one open for a second. Alright, we should definitely go wide with Spideys. And then Twitching Doll comes back. Really? Wow, guys. Just a little bit of extra value from the Toph. A great showcase of Toph being in the deck list. Comboing with that Twitching Doll. I can't believe that. Their hand must have been really bad. They must not have had a whole lot left in hand, you know what I mean? No second Ouroboros. I'm surprised by that, because I think that really could have been a back and forth match. But yes, I mean, we were going to Earthbend the Twitching Doll that already had the nest counter on it too. And then on their turn, tap it for another nest counter, which could have meant 4 more spiders as well. I mean, Tezzeret was established. Tezzeret's fantastic with the Twitching Doll too, because you get the 0 ability on tap target artifact or creature. If it's an artifact creature, put a +1/+1 counter on it. So, I mean, we got the engine rolling. So I guess I kind of understand the concede, but I still think that that could have gone back and forth. Especially if they found that second Ouroboros, I think we would have been in serious danger. Yeah, just being able to grab the Dusk Rose Reliquary when you need it, that's like always powerful. And that's usually a grab to at least one of the cards with the Gearhulk when you play it. Oh, Badgermole Cubs, Twitching Doll, Pollinator, Perilous Snare. Dude, there's just like nothing to complain about here except Multiversal Passage, I guess, but not worried about that. Gladly pay the 2. Alright. Get the Pollinator down. Just dump our entire hand next turn, apparently. Hey, Pollinator, what are you doing over there? We are seeing a lot of Badgermole Cub deck lists. Right, so let's do Passage on white, I suppose. Pay the 2. Badgermole Cub. I guess this is what we do. Into the second Badgermole Cub over the Twitching Doll, right? I guess so. Power it all up. There you go. That's a turn 2. Leyline Weaver. Maybe like a Llanowar Elves or another Pollinator could happen here. Gonna be Pop Hatch Recruit. I don't mind the mana, I suppose. A Perilous Snare should pick up the Recruit over anything else, I guess, because we really don't want them to boost wide, but then also having these extra ramp creatures we know is pretty rough too. Always see if they accept any trades. We don't necessarily need all this excess mana from the Cubs. Could always equip a Collar too. Establishing Twitching Doll is good too. Everything is good here, guys. Everything is good. Oh my goodness. There's 3 for the Snare. Let's go ahead and just take the Recruit out of the equation, huh? Even though it wouldn't be terrible to just go ahead and wait for the Ouroboros. We're going to go a little greedy here. And then we have 3. The Twitching Doll comes down. Basilisk Collar comes down. And I guess we could equip the Basilisk Collar, but I'd rather just swing for 5 for the turn. Is that all okay? Is this Perilous Snare? Was that a greedy play, guys? It might have been. Ah, Ouroboros. No, it was greedy, guys. What have I done? Right, they just can hold back here and just let the Ouroboros do the thing since they know we don't have anything in hand, too. More mana. Not fantastic, I would say. We can do, I guess, Basilisk Collar is okay enough here. Actually, I'll keep all the lands untapped like that. Poke 1 through. Save a blocker. As soon as they give trample on their board, we're gonna be like out of this, right? Twitching Doll, we'll probably just get a nest counter then. Okay, we need some of our top end for sure. We have Bumi as a 1-of, we have 7 4-drops, we have Nature's Call, we have Hydra. A lot of top end to draw into. If we can just survive a couple turns, maybe we can still get around this Boroid. Scrap Shooter. Oh, dude, they're totally gonna pop that Basilisk Collar over the Snare for sure, right? Let's see what we get gifted, though. That's the only collar in here, too, so... We find a Llanowar Elves. Oh, no. I think they should start swinging, for sure, especially now that the Death Touch is off the board. At least with the Weaver, it's a 6/6, because a triple block into the Weaver would be terrible. No, they're going to wait another turn here. We find more mana. No. Oh, and I forgot to tap the Twitching Doll. Oh, well, it probably doesn't matter, does it? Probably not. Let's go ahead and get this Multiversal Passage tapped. Let's play the Llanowar Elves. Yeah, don't forget, if you didn't use the mana on the Twitching Doll, you want to tap it at the end of the opponent's turn anyways to get those extra nest counters rolling. Okay, they're gonna full power another Recruit. This is totally my fault, guys. If I would have been patient with the Perilous Snare, yeah, they would have a Recruit on the board for that extra turn, but this Ouroboros would be gone, and it would be a little bit of a different game, potentially. However, we also would have needed to find some of our top end as well, so it's time to swing for sure. There we go. All right, let's get some chumps rolling. It's just going to look like taking some damage here and blocking with the lands, right? I think so. We can block the chunkiest of the creatures, take 8 down to 10, and we're probably dead next turn. Not entirely sure what we could see off the top that could change that. Ooh, we get to call a new thing. I guess green in this scenario, right? Alright, it's gonna be mana, actually. Wah, 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 wah. See, now in this, since I wasn't tapping the Twitching Doll, I guess we could have had a couple spiders to try to survive one more turn. But that one extra turn doesn't do much if we don't have, like, board wipes and stuff anyways. So at this point, it's kind of like me conceding, but in the best way to concede, like actually letting the opponent swing on in, right? Also, Paw Patch Recruit and its buddy had trample, so I guess those spiders actually wouldn't have done anything. But yeah, for the rest of the games, I'll keep an eye on that Twitching Doll, make sure I'm actually tapping it in time and whatnot too. The two very different matches here. One where we saw what we needed, and the other one where we just got a little extra mana off the top instead. But then also, that was a little bit my fault too. The Perilous Snare could have taken the Ouroboros. It still wouldn't have stopped like a second Boroid if they had it ready. I think they already would have played it though too, so. Alright, opponent brings something other than Badgermole Cub to the table. Speaking of which, speaking of Cub, both of those first games, the opponents were actually missing their Cub, right? Just showcasing the rest of the power of those deck lists too. There's some top end, guys. Okay, yeah, we go first. We keep this for sure. Starting town can be turn 3. Passage can come down. Probably call green. Yeah, that makes sense to me, I hope. That powers up the Verge as a white source. I guess it could have been white too, but just based on the majority of the deck list, you know? Oh man, we really can't have Twitching Doll die here, but it's not like we don't play it, so... Hey, Twitching Doll survives the turn. Does it survive this turn? Hey, Leyline Weaver. Oh no, guys, not again. Alright, patience with the snare, right? Patience. So Toph should just come down, start metal bending the Twitching Doll over the Gearhulk, although Gearhulk is a very good play here too. Hello, opponent. Yep, they know what's in here. Yeah, Gearhulk's pretty good too, because you could start earthbending the Gearhulk as well. Next turn, of course. But yeah, we just get the ball rolling on the Twitching Doll. It's good. It's pretty good. If they find some removal for the Toph, we have second Toph in hand. Roaming Throne. Holy cow. They're gonna call Avatar. What does that even mean? Oh, hey, we really are seeing all of our top end today. Oh. Guys, I'm playing really silly orders today. Why didn't I play Starting Town last turn? I knew I needed to play it on turn 3, but I still played the Verge instead. I don't know, man. I'm sorry about that. Let's do... We probably should just go wide now with the Twitching Doll, because 3 Spideys is pretty darn good. We don't have the ward cost on the throne anyways. We would have 5 mana to pick up the throne. Probably not the best scenario anyways. Just getting the Gearhulk down is pretty good too. You know what? Maybe it is Gearhulk. We can still metal bend further on the Twitching Doll. I'm a little bit afraid. The Dusk Rose Reliquary is probably something we want to pick. Phoenix Down's pretty good here. Basilisk Collar is also pretty good here. Let's pretend they're not going to remove our creatures and grab the Basilisk Collar instead. Seems pretty good. And see, if I would have played my mana properly, we could have played one of those, but that's okay. So we can plug more into the Twitching Doll because these two creatures probably have a bigger target on their back anyways. And actually start powering up land if we want. Do this. Let's do it that way, because it'll take too long to get the Gearhulk back up to a 4/4 with the extra counters. Still, though. Still something to consider. Windflame Tyrant coming down, guys. Holy cow. From the Weaver untaps. The Weaver's been a fantastic card, hasn't it? Second Weaver. Okie dokies. Gearhulk's a little hard to swing into. Pollinator coming down. They got one card remaining in hand that we don't know about. Reliquary should probably pick up the Tyrant. We can try to start with some swinging here. I do want to get the 6 Spideys this turn regardless. Basilisk Collar equipped onto Gearhulk could be pretty good too. And Pastry could be what we actually pop. Well, let's get these Spideys. I know I want to do that, so let's do that. And then Twitching Doll returns, because that's such an awesome synergy, dude. I also know that I want to equip the Basilisk Collar, so let's do that. Still have a white source open. We start with the swing first, because Death Touch, Lifelink, First Strike, Trample could do something here. But most likely it gets through and we go up to 24 and the opponent goes down to 16. Alright. And then it's going to be Duskrose Reliquary. Pop a Spidey. Grab that Twin Flame Tyrant. For sure. Earthbend. I guess we're right back onto the Twitching Doll, right? Makes sense to me. Just a crazy synergy. Yeah, Earthbending Gearhulk, I guess the main reason, see, we'd get it back up to a 4/4 this turn if we would have started the ball last turn. The main reason would be the bottom of the Earthbend ability. When it dies or is put into exile, return it to the battlefield, get that ETB again. Which, speaking of dying, Overlord comes down, pops that Gearhulk, easy peasy. And in this scenario, we see why grabbing the Phoenix down would have been pretty good. Yeah, Gearhulk has to die. They get... Oh, that's why they called Avatar. Oh, crap, dude. Right. And Sunset Strike Master from hand, too. Dude, what a board state, huh? Holy cow. This Overlord of the Boiler Bilges is the target with the Perilous Snare, period. There's pretty much like nothing else we can do in our hand right now. I guess we could take the throne, that way if they top deck more avatars, we're not like completely ruined, but... We have what, X is 4 on the Goldvein Hydra, that's not really enough right now. We could get the other Toph down. But then they're just going to swing with the Overlord and pop it anyways, so... Yeah. It just looks like Perilous Snare. Grab the Overlord and hope they don't have removal for artifacts. Starting Town can come down tapped. We still have 2 mana if we want to equip the Collar, I suppose. We could get a swing with the Spidey. It's funny that we're not wide enough here. Maybe we go Twitching Doll anyways, too. Yeah, we'll get the Pastry down, and then we'll just get even more Spideys out there now. Since it's Earthbent, it returns, and we get 2 more Spideys, and then that's that. Maybe we could go full swing. They got 1 block. Yeah, why not? Let's do it, dude. I should have done this before tapping the Twitching Doll and whatnot, but because they didn't know what's in our hands, so we could have had a combat trick. So maybe we could have cheesed the 2 through past the roaming throne, right? Okay, they're taking some blocks here. Okay. Okay, they get to keep a Pollinator and a throne around. Wow. I mean, that's fantastic for us, especially since we know we have the other Toph in hand. Badgermole Cub off the top. Wow. That'll replenish their board state a little bit here with some creatures. We should be pretty confident, though, with this other Toph in hand. That's my hope. Perfected Pastry. I'm going to start with the card draw on the pastry. Put this counter on the Twitching Doll. Okay, Llanowar Elves. Okay. We can play the Verge, get the Toph down. I guess tapping Twitching Doll, really we shouldn't. I'd rather take the 1 here. Okay. Or maybe I should tap Twitching Doll for the Basilisk Collar instead. No, I'm going to stay to it. I didn't want to tap the Twitching Doll. I wanted to save a blocker. I'm going to stick to it. Let's get the Llanowar Elf down too. Okay. No attacks. In turn. Off Metalbend the Twitching Doll. Yeah, dude, now we're talking. See what they top deck. Gonna be Gene Pollinator. This time we actually tap for a nest counter, for sure. For sure, it matters this time. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. X is 5 on the Hydra is pretty good, guys. We could do X is 6 if we pay 2, which I think is actually worth it here, too. It's totally worth it here. We're going to get 4 Spideys on the Twitching Doll. That's going to be important, too. Okay. Right. Let's do this. Hydra, Spidey. They go Throne into Spidey. Trade into Spidey. Take 6 from the Hydra. Oh my goodness. Okay, let's do this, huh? Then Twitching Doll comes back. This is crazy, dude. We could start powering up some of these other ones too, but it's just way better to roll it right into the Twitching Doll, isn't it? It's just way better. That's so good. Nice and wide, a nice 6/6 Goldvein Hydra on the board. We're going to equip the Basilisk Collar to the Hydra too. For a Death Touch lifelink on a trampling vigilant creature. I mean, that they're going to need something just fantastic off the top. I mean, Toph just really proven... Yeah, Toph really proven herself with this Twitching Doll. It's crazy, dude. It's such a good synergy, especially if you get Lupin with it. GG opponent, wow. A couple optimized plays here and there throughout these matches. It's definitely an oddball deck list to pilot, that's for sure, but it's not too difficult, so I think I'll do fine and dandy here in what is potentially the last game of the video. Let's do this, huh? And while I have you here towards the end, make sure you check out that description. I have that Discord link and that Patreon link down there if you're interested in joining either of those up or supporting the channel that way. Then also, guys, for the YouTube side of things, if you like the video, make sure you actually drop it a like. If you enjoy the channel, then consider subscribing because it really does help out the channel. So thank you guys. Let's do this. All green on passage, enter tapped. I'm not going to mess up the starting towns this time. 2 and 3 is probably going to be necessary here. Okay. Llanowar Elves would have been much better last turn, but we don't always need to just significantly pop off, right? So we could start with just establishing Twitching Doll, go a couple Badgermoles next turn, but I think we get one Badgermole Cub down now. I suppose it doesn't matter here. The starting town's fine. Okay, so this could be a Perilous Snare for the Cub if they want to try to stop some significant ramp. But if they want to go for establishing for the turn, then they probably just want to go Synthesizer or Repurposing Bay, right? Or I could be wrong about the deck list we're up against. It could be like some kind of control. They could pass it back and just keep it 3 steps ahead open or something, right? So, depends. It's going to be, oh, removal for the Badgermole Cub. No, the starting town is what they choose here. It comes back as a land, luckily. That does stop some of the ramp. But a surprising choice. Exile up to 1 target creature until this equipment leaves the battlefield. I see. Maybe they thought it was actually going to be held underneath there. Maybe. Even so, it does stop our turn a little bit here. It's definitely going to be Badgermole Cub number 2 either way, right into the Twitching Doll, right? And the Llanowar Elves. Wow. Badgermole's crazy, dude. Hey, I hope this isn't control. I see, with this incredible ramp on the board, off of Gearhulk, we probably grab Hydra. Especially if they miss a board wipe, and hopefully they do, guys, because I just dumped everything. Right, so with 2 Badgermole Cubs, which we also have to anticipate some removal. Oh, Barricade. Oh my goodness. Prevent all non-combat damage that would be dealt to other creatures you control. And then it has, you have hexproof. Okay. So how much mana do we have here, guys? So 9, 11 mana. So we can successfully go Gearhulk, or Tezzeret is 1 less if we wanted to do it that way. Now we'll go Gearhulk, pay the 1 from the starting town. Let's grab the Hydra for the turn. And the Reliquary is probably not a terrible grab here too. But with this board state, maybe it's just a Basilisk Collar again, right? Or the Phoenix down if they do end up finding a board wipe. I'll grab the Collar. We could always grab something else from the Tezzeret when it comes time. Okay, tap it all. 6, 7, X is 6 on the Hydra. Go, go, go. Nice. Get a nice swing here. That's a board state and a half, dude. Wow. Showing the other side of the deck list where you don't necessarily need Toph. Down to 10. If they find that second white source, that would get us sweating for sure. Because we don't really know what we're up against. I assumed it was Synthesizer. It could be some kind of control that's just rocking some artifacts, right? Yeah, the Basilisk Collar over on stream when we were playing this deck list too, it was a little MVP. Death Touch Lifelink onto the Gearhulk or Hydra, anything with trample really, is just absolutely devastating. They do find the second white source and pay 2 for it, guys. I'm a little concerned. Although if it was a board wipe, you'd think it would have been spammed onto the board by now. Authority? Okay. Unfortunately, that's a few turns late for the opponent. Memory Guardian, not bad at all. We got so much mana here, though, guys, that pretty much... I mean, we could do Basilisk Collar. And then we can go White Source onto the Twitching Doll. for the Perilous Snare, right? And pick up probably the Barricade, but the Memory Guardian's a good pickup too. I still got one here, so we gotta anticipate maybe like a bounce spell too. Ooh! Okay, that's not terrible for the opponent, but we still have the Basilisk Collar equipped luckily, and I guess we put it pretty much anywhere here. Probably the Gearhulk because of the first strike as well. With that extra mana, we'll play the Pastry. And we could, I guess, plug an extra counter onto the Pastry, but a wide swing might be a little better here too, so see what the opponent ends up doing here, because they're only at 8. I don't know exactly the optimized lines, but I'm not 100% certain that we have to optimize it, as this is a math is for blockers turn, and I don't know what they're doing about these trampling creatures. Right, because with the first strike, Death Touch, Lifelink Trample, it's going to deal 1 damage to the Barricade, then the rest of the 3 goes through, then they have to deal with this Hydra's Trample too, which I guess would be the block with the Guardian, so that's going to be another 2 going through, and then we got 5 over here getting through. And I guess we have Perfected Pastry at instant speed as well. No, that's the bottom ability. I see. I see. Yeah. Huh. That's about right, I would say. Honestly, guys, now a big part of the power of this deck list is definitely the Badgermole Cub. But another big part of the power of the deck list is the utility that we're able to grab out of it with the Gearhulk and the Tezzeret and everything too. Just being able to grab what you need, that happens to be pretty powerful. Let's talk about this real quick. Here's the deck list again. Worth the splash for the red? Did we prove something with Toph and Twitching Doll? Yes, it's worth the splash of red for the Toph. Cool. Is it worth the splash of red for Bumi? I don't know. It's a fun top end though. But probably not. You could just go up more removal and be happy about it. Go up the second Nature's Rhythm too. I don't think that would hurt anything as well, but Bumi's still neat on the top end, like that a lot. You guys put it on the do not craft list just because it's pretty expensive, I'm pretty sure, and it's pretty off meta as well. But if you already got all the cards, this is definitely one to try out and get back to me and let me know how it worked for you too. It's an oddball one to play, but it's not too hard. It kind of gives you the lines. It kind of lines itself up, right? And like usually, sometimes there's deck lists where it's like, I have no idea what's the best thing to do. But in this one, it's just like, yeah, we just power up the Twitching Doll, don't we? Right? Like that's usually the best thing to do. And then there's other obvious choices too. Like, well, this is definitely a Gearhulk turn because it's a fantastic blocker that we need on the board, but we're also grabbing all this utility as well. So yeah, I guess the lines are a little bit obvious in this one, even though it's an odd one to play. The mana base felt completely fine. That's a lot of starting towns and passages, so you are going to be taking damage. Luckily, we got lifelink on the collar, so that's something, and it's pretty easy to grab the collar out of the deck list as well. There's going to be moments too where you gotta like keep an eye on the reliquary. When it enters, you have to, as an additional cost to cast this spell, you sacrifice an artifact or creature. So you do have to have something extra on the board. You saw in that game where I played it, I made sure to tap down Llanowar Elves first. That way I could sacrifice the tapped elves to the Dusk Rose Reliquary. So that's all very important as well. Top end Hydra. I wouldn't mind a second Hydra too, right? Even though we're grabbing it out of the deck list easy peasy, Bumi could just look like a second Hydra, and you'd probably be pretty happy about that, especially when you have a Badgermole Cub or 2 on the board, which we saw in that last game for sure. It's crazy that we had so much mana that we could play Gearhulk and still have a 6/6 Hydra. You know what I mean? That's crazy. What else, guys? What else? Gene Pollinator is definitely one that you don't mind earthbending with the Metalbender, right? So, because it becomes a 0/0, gets the counters, it becomes a 2/2. But it's just like, it's the fact that Earthbend has that bottom clause, right? When it dies or is put into exile, return it to the battlefield. It's actually just a really good ability, right? Earthbending has been everywhere for a reason. Badgermole Cub is every other game for a reason. So yeah, getting the ball rolling with some counters. Yeah, it might take a couple extra earthbending to get the Pollinator to a chunky creature, but just having it already earthbent and just kind of a looming threat as you earthbend all of these different artifacts, and then the opponent, I don't know, finally drops a Day of Judgment or something, and then they all just come back anyways. It's cool. It's really cool, actually. And then also, this isn't the only deck list we built with Toph, the first Metalbender, so let me know in the comments if you'd love for me to revisit Toph at some point. We have a Gruul version with a splash of white for Toph as well. So that'll be pretty fun. And guys, I think I forgot to mention it earlier, but we kind of sort of built this together on the Twitch channel. I already had the deck list ready, but we kind of put some other pieces in as the stream went on too. So yeah, it was pretty fun to piece these together. So thank you guys for everyone who joined me over on Twitch as well. We always have a good time for sure. What else, guys? What else? Perilous Snare. You could probably pretend it would be okay to be more Dusk Rose Reliquaries, but there's also just going to be a lot of moments where you won't have the sacrifice for the Reliquary, right? Outside of that, different removal, like Get Lost, doesn't fit the artifact theme. That's probably fine. Yeah, Get Lost would also work here, guys. I think so. Especially since, too, you can always end up targeting one of your own things that it already has earthbending on it, right? Then get a couple map tokens. And maybe those map tokens, whenever an artifact you control enters, put a loyalty counter on Tezzeret. Yeah, dude, Get Lost would totally work here. But so does Perilous Snare, so I guess it's your choice as well. You could base this one on your collection pretty effectively too. Keep an eye on the mana base for sure. As you can see, the splash, we got the split of white and the split of green looking like this, and then Stomping Ground powers them both up. If we need to power them up with the Multiversal Passage, that works too, and then Starting Town can just be whatever you want whenever you want it, so Starting Town still makes sense, especially in a deck list that's splashing like this as well. And then also, you're not always paying the 1 life because there's plenty of things that are just coming out colorless too, so that's all something to keep an eye on. Okay, guys, enough rambling, huh? Wow. Really neat stuff today. I hope you guys enjoyed it just as much as I enjoyed it. And if you made it this far into the video, for real, y'all are champions. I super duper appreciate you. I will see you in the next video.